Welcome back, Officers of the Public. Of course, Honorable Police Chief APGAINS, and since I have forgotten to sign up for GAC, which I believe is happening right now, I have plenty of time for roster reviews, and we are improving the mobile setup, so we should do more of those. But now that the Cube Discord app is up and running and being prepared to ship to the Patreon Discord, I've been going through hundreds of backlogged roster reviews for people, which has been a fun experiment because it's a lot faster because I can see into their account more clearly. I can have a printout of every team that they have at acceptable levels, what teams need to be improved, what recommendations the computer thinks it can be make, and use all of that to better understand what their account looks like and where it should go forward. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is because I've been noticing across probably, I don't know, maybe 75 to not quite 100, but upwards of 75 rosters that I've looked at today offline. I've noticed two important core teams that people are completely missing, and in some cases they exist, but they're not at a level that makes them anywhere useful in GAC, and in other cases they're just completely gone. And I think these are two teams that I think are pretty obvious to a lot of people. Bounty Hunter Snipe is the first one. Now, I want to lead with this one because this is one of the best teams in the entire game. A lot of people, especially as you're climbing up the lower ranks, maybe you're not 4 million GP, maybe you don't have all the GLs, maybe you don't have all this stuff. There's a couple of world enders that occasionally come across your desk that, completely fuck you up. And these are, occasionally things that like a higher level player, 4, 5, 6, 7 million GP wouldn't really care much about. But in some cases, I've seen higher GP players fall into this trap as well. I'm talking about Malgus when he's stuck by himself. Or even when he's not stuck by himself. I'm talking Nest, for instance. I'm talking just random Hondo when he gets a little bit too powerful. I'm talking just random characters that need to be bounty hunter sniped. And just because a team isn't as flashy as a Gas or a Galactic Legend or a Star Killer or a Maul or a Malgus doesn't mean that you don't want to have that tool in your drawer. And very, very, very frequently, even in my own GACs in Kyber, and years ago, even prior to the Zam Omicron being out, you would find yourself in a situation where you just need to snipe something. And even if you don't need to snipe something and you see a relatively weaker squad, maybe that just has one key member, maybe you tune them to be Gas, for instance, which I know a lot of people are doing at the higher levels. It's just nice to have a utility team that can snipe. The next is one that might be a little controversial, and not controversial because anyone thinks that the GG team is bad at all. But this is one of, if not the most neglected core teams that I have seen across everyone. Not just the 75 or so that I did in the last 24 hours just trying to get a hold of the tool, but I'm talking about my career at looking at tens of thousands of people's accounts. This is one of the most neglected teams in the entire game, and I don't think I need to convince you that this is a good team. It just falls in this place where if you don't have like a really good GG ship team, or you kind of didn't really care too much or about Gas and you just went minimum requirements and you forgot about GG, or you have it and it's not really tuned to be useful, or whatever it is, so many people are forgetting General Grievous, and it's really pissing me off. It's not pissing me off because I particularly care if you guys are good at GAC or not, because the more of you guys who are bad at GAC, the more wins I can accrue together, like the slimy little GAC monkey that I am. But if you guys are trying to add flexibility, add with, I like to kill C with it, but once Bane comes out, that's no longer going to be the case, sadly. I actually unironically think that Bane exists to prevent General Grievous trolls from going in against, everyone knows the random person in your bracket who puts C on defense, and you can't explain why. You think maybe it's because they're not playing, but then they end up doing a full offense and they find themselves in top 3 or top 2 in the GAC bracket. I don't understand it. I don't think anyone else does understand it, but I think this is just CG's way of saying, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit on this little cheese you guys are doing. But I mean, still applicable in lower levels. And even if you're not killing C, which should never happen because no one should ever put C on defense, or if they do, they should have it stacked with Watt and Armor to make this counter a little bit harder. Having the offensive and defensive flexibility of a team that you already need to invest in, like B2, B1, Droideka, B1. Tell me if this rings a bell, but you have to have them at least gear 12 to get Gas, and likely you have 2 or 3 of them at relics with Zetas across the board. Even if you don't have the relic resources, I mean, put a relic 3 on Grievous. And I think one thing that I do need to clarify is Grievous way back, like when Arnold was doing PewDiePie impersonations with his rework Grievous song, and Relics first came out, and Grievous just became an absolute god because he scales with his health. A Relic 3 Grievous is nice to have, but to be perfectly honest, you're not going to get much of anything out of a Relic 3 Grievous. What you're going to want to do is fucking steez him out at Relic 7. And I know we exist in a landscape where there's so many things to do, and APGAINS are doing this and doing this and doing this. If the rest of your team is dog shit and you don't have gas, slap on an R7 Grievous. If the rest of your team is really good and you don't have a Grievous, slap on an R7 Grievous. The team is practically worthless if you can't have the little the little COVID boy AoE until his heart's content and snipe either banners or wins from your opponent on defense, or go in and completely annihilate a bunch of people if you need to have some sort of two shots against a much stronger team in GAC. But farm your Grievous, relic them up. Farm your bounty hunters, relic them up. A little treat for you guys today. I'm not going to talk for another 2 minutes to get a mid-roll ad, so I will see you guys later. A couple pieces of housekeeping. Yes, I'm going to try and get the mobile macrowave set up a little bit better so we can do videos on the go. A lot of what I have been worried about recently has just been working like three jobs. The main job and a couple other side things as like a contractor just to get the ball rolling. So being able to record on the go and stream on the go is important. And when I have the cash for some Amazon purchases of a microphone that doesn't echo, that's maybe like, not terrible, we'll do that and it'll be awesome. Okay, no mid-roll ads for you. Bye-bye.